Welcome to Sewing Street. I have been excited for this show for weeks, absolutely for weeks, ever since we booked it in. This hour, now the bundle that we've got for you today is incredible. It's the Moxie, which is brand new this year from Handi Quilter in the UK, our package. Now, I'm going to go through the details with you straight away. The price on this package is £5,495. Now, I know this is a considered purchase, but when you start to look at what you're getting and how achievable this is, how realistic this is for our domestic homes, I know you're going to want to stay tuned in for this. So let's have a look and see what you're getting in the bundle. You're getting your Moxie long arm quilting machine, which has 15-inch throat space. You're getting the frame that it goes on, 8-foot wide frame. But you're also getting this incredible bundle that goes with it that includes so many of the extras that you might ever want. The ruler base for doing ruler work and straight line quilting, absolutely essential. You're getting the Surefoot. Mine stays on my long arm all the time. I almost never take it off. Is incredible. You're getting the Microfoot. Is it Microfoot?
Yes.
Yeah, Microfoot, Echo Foot. You're getting different kinds of rulers, a wave, a wiggle, a ditch ruler, a matchstick ruler. You're getting the Handi Grip. You're getting glide thread. You're getting a filled bobbin box. You're getting some incredible full line stencils. No more bridges in stencils. What are they even? They're not a thing anymore. We have full line stencils. You're not having to imagine where the line went. You can just follow it. You're getting a quilt pounce. My goodness me, if I could have a fiver for every time I've said, oh, where can I buy a quilt pounce from, when I've been at workshops showing them, my goodness me. You're getting that included in the bundle. You're getting a one-day foundation training course. You're supported here by Pinhole Quilting. You're getting gift box with mini scissors, a zinger. I love my zinger, a bag. You're getting surge protector, pen and torch. Worth £244 that bundle. Thrown in. I think it's fair to say, thrown in with that incredibly affordable £5,495. We've got 5 split pays of £1,099. And this is from Handi Quilter. Let's start by meeting Liz.
Okay.
Liz from Pinhole Quilting. Liz,
yes.
we're old
Hi,
friends.
Stuart. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm really well, Stuart. How are you?
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to do this hour.
Absolutely. No, yeah, we are too. Yeah, Pete and I.
To bring the joy of long arm quilting into the reach of domestic quilters.
Yes, we were absolutely thrilled when the Moxie came out. So it only came out this year. It's a 2021 machine. It's the second time it's been on Sewing Street. So, you know, this is a great opportunity because, you know, it was really well received the first time it came on the show.
Yeah,
so
and we know lots of you have been taking some time to think about whether a long arm is right for you and whether the Moxie is right for you. This is a great opportunity to get into the game of long arm quilting.
Yes.
I mean, the price is incredible.
Yes, it's absolutely directed at the first time long arm quilter. This is an introductory machine in so many ways, but actually it'll take you a long way on your long arm journey.
Yeah, I mean the kind of work that you can produce.
Oh, it's amazing. In fact, one of our quilters who had her Moxie just in April, her second quilt is just behind you. We've got her first quilt here on the desk. Table. And it just shows how far you can go with a Moxie in a very short space of time. And we'll have a look at some of her work later.
Absolutely incredible.
But it's really beautiful because I think, you know, out of the box, and Handi Quilter really thought about those first time long armers. You know, it's quite intimidating to kind of think, long arm quilting. I think most people, when they think of long arm quilting, they might have a preconceived notion of what that means.
Agreed. And
it might be that it's unaffordable, it's not something for me.
Right.
You know, I'm a domestic quilter.
Yes.
And actually that's not really the case. If you've been quilting for a long time, I think we have maybe met some of those customers who think that that is not for them.
Absolutely.
But this machine is.
Yeah, it so is.
Let's think about that again. Let's look at the Moxie and see if that can fit in your home, if it's the machine for you.
This is really about free motion machine quilting, just incredible. Have a look. This is a customer's first quilt that she quilted using her Moxie. It's her first quilt, and she really treated this quilt as a sampler of different techniques, different kinds of quilting. Over here we've got some lovely pebbles and some little echoed shells. This is just beautiful here. Love all of this. And so if you've ever tried doing free motion quilting on your domestic sewing machine, I think most people I've ever spoken to have talked about the pain of it, of wrestling their quilt and moving their quilt around under their sewing machine and trying to cram everything through the fairly narrow space, and how to achieve these wonderful patterns. And what long arming does is well, I think the best analogy is how we write, isn't it?
Yes.
Liz, tell us the analogy.
Yes, so the analogy is that when we're writing, we're actually moving a pen over a piece of paper. And that makes a lot of sense to most people.
Yep.
This is easy. You know, we're writing a pen and we're moving it over a fixed piece of paper.
Yep.
But if you try and hold a pen
Yep.
fixed and move the paper, it's actually really, really difficult to write, even your signature.
Even write your own name.
Yes, even write your own name.
Exactly.
On one of the videos I've got on our YouTube channel, I actually show that, how hard it is. And most people get that analogy. You try and do a domestic machine where you're moving your quilt under your fixed needle, and it's really, really difficult.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one message I want to get out there now. I talked at the start about this being achievable and possible for domestic quilter in their own home. So I think it's a really good idea to talk about space right now, because the number one thing I get from people who dearly love a long arm quilting machine is, I have not got the room for it. This is the most achievable, isn't it, that you could possibly have.
Let's
really
talk
is. Sizes.
Yes, it really is. And in fact, you know, when Pete and I were discussing the package that we've put together for the Sewing Street customers here, we thought about, you know, what package we should put together. We focused really on free motion quilting, but also incorporating stencils that can be used from the front.
Yes.
So that we don't have the quilting from the back. We don't need to utilise the back of the machine. So that means that our space requirements just need to have access from the front.
So these are our minimum space. Because of course it is possible, isn't it, to buy the table so you can quilt from the back using a paper pantograph.
Correct.
You can get the laser light to add on.
Yeah.
But this is all about getting it in your home, get you quilting right from the get-go in the smallest possible space.
Right. So yes, absolutely. So the minimum working space, working from the front, the depth you need is 5'2". My height, well, if I'm standing,
5'2".
yeah, just about.
I don't want to be rude here, Liz, but that's small. That's that's not a lot of space.
Listen, good things come in small packages, Stuart. You know that.
They do.
And
you told me that often.
Yeah, I know. It's a mantra. I just keep saying it to myself. With this 8-foot loft frame, we've brought in. As you know, this is a 6-foot one, but the 8-foot one is the one that you would get. You need 8'8" to be able to walk around. A minimum working space. I mean, the recommended working space that we suggest is 7'6".
Yeah. So
that you can actually, you know, go to the side here, etc. And these are all dimensions that you'll find on the Sewing Street website.
Yeah. So actually, the space requirements, it's 5'2".
5'2" from
depth.
Yeah, exactly.
And then length, we want 8 foot.
Yeah, 8 foot
8 foot 8?
8 foot 8.
8 foot 8. So we're getting an 8-foot frame. So we need those 8 inches just so we can get down one side.
Well, it's just so that you can get access here.
Yeah,
so
just a little bit, of access to the right hand side.
But that wouldn't enable you to go around it. The recommended working space is the next column, 2 columns over on that table, which it says 9
so
foot 8.
If we can go back to that table just to have another little look there.
There you go.
So those are our minimum sizes to actually fit your Moxie and your 8-foot frame. Remember that Liz is working on a 6-foot frame here in the studio just because of space restrictions, but you're going to have an 8-foot frame. With your 8-foot frame, your widest quilt that you can work on would be 76 inches wide. The length is kind of not, immaterial because it's however long you want your quilt to be, pretty
Correct.
much. Yeah. I've never quilted a quilt that was too long to go on my frame. And then you've got your minimum working space. So you would want 8'8" on your length, 6'4" on your width. So we're really talking about a small bedroom here, aren't we?
It's absolutely. The Moxie is really going to fit in many of our UK homes, which was another requirement that we were really pleased it ticked the box.
I think up to the last couple of years, long arm quilting is very much, hasn't it? It's been something that people are either, they're professionals or you send your quilt to a long armer.
That's it, yeah.
The idea of having a long arm quilting machine in our home where we can actually quilt our quilts has been out of reach for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, but it's changed.
So what changed?
I think the change has been partly education. Availability of YouTube with the education has helped a lot. I suppose in many ways, what we've done in terms of us as Pinhole Quilting, we started in 2017, and what we've got with our 1,500 square foot showroom is done a lot more education and training.
Yeah.
And education is a big part of this. We don't just sell boxes. What we do is when you get this, you get your foundation training as well. When you get a Moxie, it is self-assembly, but it comes with as an app, shows you how to build it. There's all the YouTube videos that come with Handi Quilters. That's why we've got this package. Shall we go through
Let's do that.
what you get with the Moxie? Shall we go through the package and what you get?
Then
we can do some demonstrations to show you how it all helps.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay,
absolutely.
Great. Let's start with the Moxie, shall we? Because that box under there that says, you've got this, that
This one here?
Yes, let's start with that.
Okay.
If you turn that round and open it,
Yep.
open the box.
I say, I'm doing
That's
out of the box experience.
You are. There we go. If you look at that first thing there, what does that say? That tells you what's in the box.
Okay, so we've got everything in here. So we've got our quick start guide, how to quilt kit, decals. I love a decal.
I know. I'm a real sticker person. So in those sort of bits of paper there, the last one there.
Oh, I say. So
are
we can add some fun, stitch like a boss. I love that. Free motion, fabulous.
And these can go on your Moxie or on your notebooks.
So then in here, what sort of things have we got in here?
So in there is your thread pack. There's some sample threads. The bobbin case is preloaded with thread.
Right.
So you can literally pop it in here.
Yep.
In fact, I'm going to take that.
Okay.
Guess what?
Go on. Just going to pop it in.
I'm just going to pop it in. I'm going to pop it in.
We are all sanitised, by the way. We've got it right here. We were covering ourselves earlier on.
Can you pass me the blue one, please?
I can.
Just that one.
Yep.
Thank
So you've got your bobbin case there. You're getting different kinds of feet as well, aren't you?
You do. The standard foot and also an open toe foot.
Yep.
That comes with the machine.
Which I've got right here.
Yeah. Now the open toe foot obviously gives you nice visibility when you want to do more detailed work, and we also are giving you another foot as well. We'll go into that in a second. This is the standard stuff. So we've got an oiler, we've got 20 needles.
Yep.
So it's a new needle for a new project.
Yep.
Standard needles.
Is it? No, I'm joking. Of course it is.
You'd say that, don't you? You've got the tools there to change the needle and to adjust the bobbin tension.
Yep.
To change the feet. And also you've got some other bits and pieces. Cleaning it, obviously keeping your Moxie nice and tidy, so you've got a brush in there.
But it's the same as looking after a sewing machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those of you at home thinking, oh gosh, now that looks like a really, really complex piece of kit, that kind of makes you nervous. The truth of the matter is that the sewing machine part of it is actually a lot simpler than a domestic sewing machine, isn't it? Because it just sews straight stitch.
It does. In fact, we hadn't really got onto that aspect of it. But if you look at this part of the machine, This has got no feed dogs.
No.
It's completely flat.
Yeah.
It has, when people are doing a demonstration, they quite often want to put the presser foot mechanism down.
Yeah, of course.
There's no presser foot mechanism. The tension on this is permanently engaged. So actually, when you pull down on the thread, it's actually quite strong, that tension.
Yes. Yes.
Because there is nothing there to engage the tension discs. They are always on. So it is, and you're absolutely right. I mean, Pete and I and our other service engineers who are spread around the country, when you take these machines apart to service them, they are relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
There's no complex elements inside, like what we call a swing needle machine.
Right. They're more akin to an old-fashioned sewing machine in some ways, aren't they? And even the way that you thread it and the little thing on the side that you put the thread through 3 times, that's like an old sewing machine, isn't it, in many ways?
People who are familiar with old singers quite often remark, oh, it's like my mother's old singer. And the other thing to remark on, I've just taken that one out.
It's bigger than the one that goes in my sewing machine at home.
When I go back to my domestic, I kind of think, oh, is that
all bobbin thread I get? I know.
Exactly. It runs out so quickly.
These on the Moxie uses exactly the same bobbins as used on my. I've got a Handi Quilter as well, of course. I'm not unbiased, by the way, when it comes to Handi Quilter. I'm going to be open and honest about that. I've been using my Handi Quilter for about 7 years now, I think. And it's an every week. I absolutely love it. And they use what are called M-class bobbins, which is what this is right here. My long arm uses it. Your Moxie will use it too. You get a lot more thread, don't you? And also, I always use like a bobbin fill weight of thread, like a finer thread. One. So you get a massive amount of thread on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I quilted a 60-inch square quilt the other day and used one bobbin. Yeah. Well, in fact, I didn't finish the bobbin on that.
Brilliant, isn't it?
That was lush, quilting a whole quilt in about less than 2 hours with no bobbin change.
Yes.
Hurrah.
I know.
I must admit, I did leave the same needle in all day.
Yeah, you can. I mean, we do the same with our showroom machines. You can actually hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're only using that one machine and you know that it's a 60 by 60, you would use 2 on a big king size probably.
Exactly.
So it's a relative thing.
Let's see it in action.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's see it in
action.
action.
And then what I'll do is we'll do it, see it in action, and then we'll go through some of these little extras and things that we've got here. So I'm just going to show some of the things you can do. So I am sitting down now and one-handed, just getting very, very confident with it. Swells.
Oh yeah, that's what we like.
One of the accessories we got here, which is called the Microfoot, which is a lovely little foot. It actually, when it first came out, I thought, whether you want to have a look at that one. The Microfoot, I thought it looks like someone's just broken the foot. Now it does. You'll see. It's actually brilliant for doing really intensive scribble.
Yep. Because it's almost the kind of unguarded needle, isn't it? Almost.
Almost.
Don't forget that extra package that Liz is talking about, with those feet, with the threads, with the rulers, the full line stencils. More than £200 worth of value has been included for free.
So if I just get the samples and then we can
Liz,
go
can I
through.
Just ask?
Yeah.
I just want to break this down because I know. I had all of my notes on the package and everything else, but I still had to question that you're getting the frame and the machine.
Yes.
Because that's amazing, and it seems too good to be true.
It's yeah. Well, let's just run through it because it is. It's the machine, it's the frame, it's the bobbin winder, okay.
Which I've got on the table in front of me here.
You get the 6 stencils, and the quilt pounce.
Yeah.
You get the ruler base, where you get the Surefoot to use with it, which is essential because it really protects your needle and also your machine.
That's like your ruler foot, isn't it? You might be familiar with that if you've used maybe like Pars or something like that, rulers.
You get the Echo Foot, which actually extends the use of the rulers.
Yeah.
Now, it can transform things like wave rulers. I'm going to show you how we use that. And you get Handi Grip, which is here, which you put on the underside of rulers. Here's your rulers.
Okay, to make them more grippy.
Correct.
Got you. Perfect.
Now, the ruler's fantastic. The ditch ruler, absolutely brilliant, obviously for quilting in the ditch. And I've got an example of that just here.
So or just even if you wanted to do like sort of short straight lines, so it might be echoing around a pieced block that you want straight lines going around, or quilting in the ditch as well.
Correct.
I mean, this, remember, with your long arm, this isn't, on our domestic sewing machine, this is not slavishly trying to follow that line and then having to turn a king-size quilt every time you need to change direction around a 2-inch square. This is being able to put the ruler down, pulling that long arm along the ruler, okay, moving the ruler, pulling it across, moving the ruler up, moving the ruler across. And then we're on to the next one. It's just mind-blowing, actually, when you do it.
It's completely different way of doing things.
Totally.
The freedom that you get with a long arm when you're standing up and using ruler work is just totally different.
Yeah.
Here's some really lovely rulers. We've got the Wiggle Wave, we've got the F, and matchstick quilting for those people who love the intense look of a modern quilt.
Yeah.
I've got an example here.
Yeah.
So here, I'll go through. So those stencils that you've got underneath.
Yeah, so you're getting those included.
Yeah, all of those included. Now, when we get in the second, it'll be the second hour now I think, these stencils, you won't believe how good these are.
Amazing. The technology is brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Because what you'll see here, this is a grid, remember, of course, on the diagonal is cross-hatching, or it could be about marking your quilt to then quilt something regular. Amazing. But no bridges. No. So there's no gaps in your stencil. When you pounce over the top of this, when you apply your chalk pounce, you're getting the full line.
Absolutely.
It's incredible, absolutely amazing. You're getting so many different stencils as well.
Yes. And you get a lovely collection of thread.
Yep.
Colours may vary. Bobbin thread, you were talking about that fine bobbin thread that you use where you didn't have to change your bobbin for your 60 by 60 quilt. This is that kind of bobbin thread. And
brilliant. And they're so full. These are like the bobbins that go on forever.
They are.
Yeah.
The endless bobbin.
Yeah. Everyone wants an endless bobbin. That's my Christmas wish every year.
Yeah.
My bobbin always be full.
Could we have a different type of bobbin that meant that you never had to replace it? Wouldn't that be nice? You get a zinger and scissors.
Zinger and scissors. The zinger is what you kind of wear this on your lapel, and there's like a pulley elastic thing here, so that you've always got your scissors handy. Brilliant stuff.
You get a little Handi Quilter little light.
Oh, I say.
Yeah, that's handy for looking into the bobbin area.
Yeah, or if you need to.
Or in the dark.
Point this to somebody and say, "Tell me everything you know." Ooh,
I'll tell you everything anyway.
Halloween. And of course,
Handi Quilter pen.
Gorgeous, love it.
Okay, and you get.
Well, not the reason why I would buy the Handi Quilter, but you know, it's still nice to have it.
And you get a fabric pack to get you going. So
this is some tops and backing, some wadding, so you can get straight on the machine and start quilting.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So we will obviously get stitching with some of these things, but what I did was I just ran up the sample of some of these things. So starting from that end, Stuart.
One of my favourites, ribbon candy quilting.
Yeah,
and
so
figure of 8.
If I've got these open, so it's probably easier.
These amazing designs.
That's just using that for so that's for reference, that top one, and then just make up the ribbon candy. So just literally for reference and placement.
Yep.
Bit
just
of ribbon
gives
candy.
you a little bit of a frame, doesn't it? So that you can evenly space your designs out. Very, very useful, this. This one here, just to be able to put registration points on a block to say that now I'm going to bring out, or feathers.
Yes.
Or whatever design I might make.
Feathers
Great, that.
Great. So that's the first one. This is the This one they call the Wild Swirls.
Wild Swirls. This is amazing. So this really gives you the look of the pantograph. Of course, not having to follow a paper pattern or use a laser light or anything like that. You're going to actually pounce that design. And what we mean by a pounce, it's a chalk-filled box. It's special though. I've got one right here, okay, and this has got like a special chalk powder in it, but you wipe it over the surface of the stencil. When you take it away, you've got perfect clear lines, unbroken lines on your quilt, and then you're just going to follow those lines. And of course, because long arming is like, you know, drawing with a pen or tracing. We can all trace a line, can't we? If we've got a pen in our hand and we could trace that. This is achievable, okay? And your Moxie is stitch regulated, right?
Yeah, stitch regulated.
Don't be looking at this thinking, oh no, when I do free motion quilting, I've got some stitches which are that long and some stitches which are that long, and most of them are somewhere ghastly in between. Don't panic. Your long arm, your Moxie, regulates, so it speeds up or slows down the motors depending on how fast you're moving the machine to keep your stitches the same length. So you set the stitch length, don't you?
That's right.
In your machine, you say, I want 12 stitches per inch or 14 stitches per inch.
Depending on the thread.
And then away you go.
Yeah.
And that's what you produce. So if you've always wanted to achieve perfectly even stitch length on your quilting, no matter whether you're vermicelli, ribbon candy, doing this amazing all over design or quilting feathers, you can do it from day one.
Yes,
This
right.
is the
This is
bit that's amazing. It's from day one. You're already saving £244. And that's based on all of those extras that you're getting. Ruler base, different kinds of feet, rulers, thread, stencils, quilt pouch, the whole package there. But what's fundamental to this deal is you're getting the Moxie long arm quilting machine that has a 15-inch throat space. You're also getting the frame. Now the frame itself is 8 foot long, it's 5 foot wide.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, it's about 41 inches wide.
41 inches wide, cool.
Yeah.
You need 5'2" space to fit that frame, but you're getting that metal frame, okay, that your Moxie sits on, okay?
Yeah.
So you don't need a table. This is not table mounted, it's not on top of something, it's on the frame, which comes included in your price. I know, I questioned it. I thought £5,495, that's the price of the long arm quilting machine. So when I came in and we're doing a package that's £5,495, I thought, okay, so that's the machine, and then we need to start adding a frame, and that's a set, but it's not. It's the frame, 8 foot frame. Liz is working on a 6 foot frame because that fits in our studio. Yours is 2 foot longer. An 8 foot frame. The machine itself, the Moxie machine, Liz doesn't come, but you do get a day's training and access to community, weekly Facebook Lives,
we do that every
training
Saturday.
courses that you can sign up for, I mean, wonderful support. Then you're getting your frame, you're getting your machine, you're getting your bobbin winder. We never talk about this, but the bobbin winder comes complete. It's a separate machine.
It's a very robust, heavy-duty machine, and that comes with the Moxie all the way through up to our biggest machine.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Yeah. My long arm came with this. Mine's now 8 years old. Still using it, winding thousands of bobbins.
Yes.
You know, I often wonder what people going past my studio must think when I'm standing there, just kind of looking down. But I just like to watch the bobbin fill. And then you're getting this package of rulers and threads and quilt pouts and stencils and all sorts of other feet and extras. Those £224, I think, thrown in for free. Amazing deal this. I've never ever seen a complete long arm quilting bundle, frame, machine, everything for less than £5,500.
No, we didn't. This is this year, 2021, is the first year we've offered such an incredible deal.
Amazing,
It
amazing. This is why it's never been so achievable, so affordable to get into the long arm game. It's just incredible. We didn't do split pays at all before. We've done them, but not 5. So 5 split pays, £1,099 is all you need to pay to get your Moxie, your frame, everything else home.
Yeah.
You'll have it set up. There's a wonderful app called the Built app, which I've got on my little tablet here. We'll have a look at this as well, which goes through how to build the frame.
And with the Built app, it's you can actually rotate it and have a look at the underneath. And if you're unsure about how to do anything, that Built app is excellent.
Yeah, really cool. Just you can download it onto a phone.
Yeah.
You can download it onto a tablet.
Android, it's Apple, whatever.
Perfect, great. So you're getting so much support here. It's an incredible opportunity to get into long arm quilting, and it takes minutes, doesn't it, to set up a quilt from ready to quilt.
Well, let me just talk about the frame first of all, because it's very important. One of the big things that people really don't like doing is kneeling on the floor, basting their quilt, right? That is not the highlight of the quilting experience, is it? So it comes with these cloth leaders. Okay, these are these twill that we've got here is called a cloth leader. And it's a 4-rail system. Again, very important. Not all quilt frames are the same.
No.
4 rails. Go for 4 rails. Always have 4 rails. Otherwise, you're having to adjust the sides, and it's complex. The 4th rail is called the idler bar, the lazy bar.
Don't do nothing.
No,
but it
don't
does.
do nothing.
Don't do nothing.
But it does, exactly. There is a reason. It keeps it all level. No matter how big the quilt sandwich grows onto your take-up rail, which is this one here.
Oh, sure, I get that. Yeah.
That makes sense, right? So this gets very, very large here, but it doesn't affect the free arm, because even when we get it massive up here, this always stays the same.
So we keep
regardless.
a flat surface for quilting.
Always flat.
And that front, that belly bar,
yeah,
with that cloth leader, what's that for?
Yeah, so this is for the quilt top. Now, ordinarily, we would have this actually attached. But in this case, for this particular demonstration, I've actually got it what's called floating. Now, floating is an option. We do it quite a lot, but when you're beginning and when you're starting out on your long arm journey, quite often we actually do recommend you pin it.
Yeah, and loading it is as simple, if you're wondering at home, as pinning the one edge of your quilt top to that leader cloth, just with big pins. You just pin straight across. Takes you about 3 minutes to pin the top.
That's right.
And then you roll the bar, so it ends up like like a roll of carpet. That's your quilt top loaded. And the benefit of doing that over having a floating quilt top is that you've kept the sides level, and as you're quilting, nothing's drifting off to the side. You can have a bit of drift, can't you, if it floats?
You can.
So which is why you need a little bit more experience. But you load it, you literally roll it. That's me rolling. Roll it onto the front bar. So that's the top loaded.
Yes.
Next bar behind that?
The next bar behind it. Oh, and by the way, if you know those stickers that we had earlier? This box.
Oh yeah.
The stickers, two of the stickers have on them
Backing.
Backing.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Backing.
And quilt top.
And quilt top.
You can label these rails. And so it will be on here. You put it on the rail.
Yeah, fair enough. Good.
And there are 2 different ways that you can have this when you set it up. This method is the preferred method now. It means that you actually, when you're doing rulers, you've got a nice flat surface here.
Got you.
It's much easier, which is the recommended method. So this is why we have the backing, and you can put a little sticker. This has the backing, which is our grey fabric.
And there you can see it there. So again, exactly the same principle. You pin it to the leader cloth, just pin the edge, and then roll the pole to roll the fabric on. All you have to do as you're rolling it up is make sure that the sides stay straight. And if they start drifting off, you just smooth it out with your hands and keep them level. And once the whole thing's rolled up, that's the backing loaded.
That's it. So pinned, rolled on, pinned to the top. We have a method of doing that. YouTube shows you beautifully how to do it.
Yeah.
Since we launched this and we've had all these customers who've got the Moxie, do you know how many calls we've had on loading?
Go on.
0.
None. because it's so easy.
Yeah. Well, because the YouTube videos show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Now, we've run foundation workshops that reiterate it, but again, none of those customers have actually said in that foundation workshop, we've not had to rerun how to do it. We ask, are you happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Can we go on and do the other stuff that we want to learn
Absolutely.
about? So it's brilliant in that respect. We can focus on the things that they don't know about that we
But
can
the thing
help
is,
on.
seriously, anybody can load a quilt backing
Yeah.
and top and be ready to quilt in 20 minutes, in half an hour. I mean, it depends on the size of the quilt, of course. A bigger quilt
It does.
takes slightly longer to pin, there's more. But, I mean, it just takes minutes.
It does.
And then you're ready to quilt.
So I thought we'd just look at the tiger stripe because, I loved doing this. Absolutely loved it. Is that okay? We do this one first?
Oh, do it, yeah,
Because I really
please.
love the pounce chalk. And so I'm just going to lay this on top of the fabric. I've just tightened my backing fabric. So let me just explain about quilt pounce then. It comes in, you've got the original packet there,
Yeah.
haven't you? So you've seen it comes in like a little box. It actually comes separate and it's not loaded. It comes in a little with white powder in a packet, which you put into the reservoir here. Do not be stingy about how much you put into the reservoir.
No.
You really mustn't be.
Easy to get that powder.
Yeah, we've got refills.
And white, blue, yellow, pink.
Yeah, we recommend mainly the whites.
Whites, yeah.
Even on relatively pale fabric, you can see the white.
Yeah.
We have now got blue, and you can mix it with the white to make what we call barely blue, which is good on very pale.
Yes.
But you can't then iron it off.
Got
And
you.
you must pre-test.
Yeah, because the blues brush off.
It is.
Yeah, okay. So Marjorie's asked the question, can you mark the quilt once it's on the frame? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And whatever your preferred method.
Lots
Liz
of
is showing you
different-
how to pounce using a full line stencil. You could still get out your friction pen and draw something on freehand or through a
use
stencil.
That. You could use.
Do that. You can use a chalk wheel.
I've got lots.
Chalk pencil.
Chalk pencil. Fine, that was a thick chalk pencil. We got fine chalk pencil. It's like so. You choose your tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Choose your weapon.
And it's much, much better to do that when the quilt's loaded. So absolutely, yes, you can.
Yes.
So you can change your mind as you go, and you could think, well, I was going to free motion that bit, but I think actually, a nice feathered wreath would look nice there. So you can do that.
It's nice to be improv, I think.
I think definitely. Now we have another question about noise.
Oh, noise.
Now the
Okay.
question is, what's the sort of noise level like? Who is this from, by the way? Do we have a Maria? Asked.
Maria.
How does the noise of a Moxie compare with a sewing machine? If this is in, spare bedroom, and I want to stay up doing some long arm quilting, the rest of the family have gone to bed. How does it compare?
Yeah. It's not that much different from a normal sewing machine,
No.
I would say. In fact, Carol, who is the lady who did these two quilts, she is in a semi, and she was concerned about her neighbour, because Carol is in exactly that situation insofar as she was worried about her neighbour who has an adjoining bedroom.
Yeah.
And she said she checked with her because Carol does stay up late and quilts and everything. And she said her neighbour doesn't hear it at all.
No.
She said, but she does have a wardrobe on the adjoining thing, and she said she doesn't hear it. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's an issue at all.
Yeah.
If people have got perhaps a floor and it's, and there's somebody in the room below, you might hear it, I guess.
Yeah.
So you do have to think
But you'd
about...
hear a sewing machine.
You would hear a
through
sewing
that.
machine,
But I
yeah.
mean, it might sound a little louder than it does realistically in here because we're right next to them with microphones, and of course it's picking that up. But I
Yes.
would say the noise level, I would say, is about the same as when I'm sewing on a
Yeah.
domestic sewing machine.
Yes. I mean, obviously some of the bigger machines might be noisier, but the Moxie is a 15-inch sewing machine, and so there are other domestic machines which are probably not much different motors. So I don't think we've never had any issues.
No.
So
Pounce, Liz, pounce.
pounce. I'm going to pounce. So
Pounce.
wipe it over.
That's it.
You don't pounce it. You wipe it. Okay. And I'm going to take this away, and voila!
Look at that. Amazing.
Look at it.
That
It's
centre's
great.
whiter because it's kind of been gone over twice, but look at those marks. They're absolutely
And then
so perfect.
you
and
can
easy
line
to
it
see.
up with the reference line. So there's this little target, and you line that up. Put it like that. And line that up with the other one target. I would put some reference lines. For and I'm doing it on black.
Well,
you'd be doing it
on your quilt. You've actually got your piecing lines generally, haven't you?
Exactly. So I'm just going to do this like this. Okay. Comes that? Beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, and that's perfectly lined up.
Would be, and then I would do my next one like here or something, like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Superb.
So that is Pounce, and just to demo while I've got the iron on, because I'm going to turn it off, but I'm just going to get rid of some of this just to show you how it goes away. Like that.
And then I'm going to stitch. Quilting.
I know, I'm going to do the quilting, but I just want to show while, then I can turn this iron off. Because
I want to do some quilting later.
Oh, you want to do some quilting? You can come and do some quilting now.
This is how you get started, by the way.
Right.
It's very similar to
a
sewing machine, isn't it?
Shall I get you started?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody about the carpet.
So I have to follow your beautiful work?
I've got it set on what's called cruise or continuous, okay, which basically means it's going to stitch 11 stitches per inch, and then there we go, coming over. Right, there's your stop.
So let's start her,
and then
and away we go. And you can see from where I started. Oh, I'm freestyling slightly. Is that okay?
That's okay. It's just a guide, Stuart.
Just going to stop it there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just so you can see. I mean, really, it's so easy. Now, obviously, I've long arm quilted before. I've done some long arm before, but literally, it's just like drawing back and forth.
How about
there
that?
We go.
How about that?
Bad. It's good enough, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Lovely.
Shall I show you ruler work?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me show you also how we move on. So say we've quilted that section and we want to move the quilt on. Let me show you how we do that as well. Just thinking about cameras and stuff. Okay, we're here.
You're fine. We'll work around.
I'm really aware of my. Now you've pointed out how, it's behind you.
So you've got like little clamps on the side, haven't you? That almost on cogs that hold everything kind of nice and tight and firm and stable. Yeah,
that's really important as well. So.
You just release those, and very importantly, release the clamps at either end. I've tried winding my quilt on with the clamps still attached. I'll admit it.
So all I did was I just released these stoppers on these front two rails, moved on this take-up rail, and there we are. I'm now looking at the next section. I'm going to put on the ruler base, and I'm going to put on the shore foot. The shore foot is our ruler foot on the Moxie.
Now, the ruler base itself is really important here because ordinarily, imagine your domestic sewing machine when you've taken off the accessory box and the extension table and all you've got is your free arm exposed. If you imagine trying to quilt a quilt on that, there's nothing under the quilt apart from this really narrow free arm, and at the moment that's where we're at with the Moxie. You've just got that free arm sticking out. If you tried to hold a ruler, you'd be pressing down on quilt and nothing under it. There's kind of no table. So we're putting a temporary table around the free arm on the machine. It's really, really easy to fit on. You'll see how Liz does it.
So I've put on the deeper ruler foot, and now I just put on.
That's it.
That's it. It's just very straightforward.
Done.
That is it.
The other thing that you didn't quite see Liz doing was just change the foot from the regular quilting foot to the ruler foot.
Yeah.
So, like I say, if you've ever done anything like used rulers on your domestic sewing machine.
Compare those two.
Thank you.
That's the regular. And that's in profile, you'll see that.
Okay, so let me show you. So this is the regular foot, which looks very much like a free motion darning foot that you would use on your sewing machine. Okay. And then this is your ruler foot. So you can see the biggest difference, the only difference really, is that this part is much, much deeper, and that allows it then to run along the side of a ruler without effectively the foot hopping over, actually catching the ruler. Because your quilt isn't moving, you lay your ruler down and that's not moving either. The only thing that's moving is the needle along the edge of the ruler. It's genius. This is what we get so excited about.
Yes.
Let's see rulers in action.
I'm going to show you rulers, but also there was something that we looked at earlier. If we look at this on the overheads, just for a minute, just following on from the pounce and your beautiful tiger stripes, Stuart, is this stencil here, which is one of the ones we also include, because stencils don't have to just be very specific, like the tiger stripe and like the swirl. They can be more generic, like the one that you showed that we can use as the basis for feathers, or we can use it as the basis for the structure of a block, and the one that we had for ribbon candy. This grid here is massively multi-purpose, and this is what I've done here. So this checkerboard here, this was done using the checkerboard and then the ditch ruler. So a combination of using structure of the 1-inch grid and then scribble with the microfoot and ditch ruler. So multi-purposing these tools.
It's amazing how you bring colour to a quilt with thread.
Absolutely. And colour to a quilt with thread is also something that we do with the whole cloth quilting.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that I'd like to just get across today really to the Sewing Street audience is when you get introduced to long arm quilting, it's almost you don't know what you don't know. Until you get a long arm, your world opens up.
Yeah.
And thread becomes your palette.
Yeah. Oh.
The tools,
because
the
you've
techniques.
taken out all of the pain points of quilting a quilt, and what you're then left with is the creativity, the fun, the excitement, which is absolutely there in every single sewer.
Yes.
You do not need to be able to draw, you do not need to be an artist. You can use stencils, you can use pantographs, you can draw designs on, you can trace them on, but actually it's doodling.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
So that is literally, I've got a bit of an edge there, let me just move that down beyond my ruler base. So literally just do that and you've got your grid.
Amazing.
And that's the start of it. Then you're going to get your ruler, your ditch ruler. So here's the start. And the settings for this would be the continuous, what I've got already, which is 11 stitches per inch. Just basically, I've just brought up my thread. I've sorted it by just anchoring it 2 or 3 stitches in place. I'm going to use this ditch ruler. Let's just move these just onto here for a second. And just tap it just to kind of get rid of the loose thing. I've got my handy grip, which is also part of the package. My handy grip is on the base of this. Now you don't always put the handy grip on. Some rulers, you don't want it.
No.
You need to move them.
Right.
And there's a right and wrong side. Always use the etch line should always be on the bottom. Distortion, or whatever the technical term is for distortion on rulers. It's really important. This ruler is brilliant because you've got these little ears and you line them up with that little line that you've just pounced, and we're just going to use that so that we can actually, because it's always a 1/4 inch away.
Yeah.
Do that, press stop, move your ruler. Line it up with the ruler, press stop. So just for safety, I'm just going to press stop each time, and then I'm going to come down. Oh, I'm going to come back a bit just so I can just go down this line, and then I'm going to come down here and go back along this line. I'll just adjust this tension. It's just I can just see the bobbin thread because, of course, I've got black fabric, and you really do want white bobbin thread, don't you? But actually, it makes it easy to adjust the tension. That's something again we cover. You can cover it on your YouTube videos, but we cover it on foundation.
You know, it's interesting. Thread tension was one of the things which kind of bothered me, worried me more than anything when I started threading my machine up. Look at that, perfectly on the line. This is the ruler. This is the ruler base in action with those stencils. Of course, you don't have to stitch every line. You could do a bigger grid.
You could do a bigger one.
You could put this diagonally and do cross-hatching.
Yes.
You could be putting a cross-hatched background behind a plique.
Oh, you're getting all creative.
Yeah. So you use your ruler up to the applique, and and then take your ruler away, free motion around the edge of your applique until you get to the next line, ruler back on, and then straight line out away from your applique.
Absolutely. I'm just going to go back up there.
But, you know, the thread tension was something that bothered me. And actually, again, you say you don't know what you know until you don't... When I started quilting, I was like, well, actually, I'd never touched the tension, Liz, from one month to the next. I tend to use the same threads.
Yes.
I have my favourite threads. I use Glide. You're getting Glide in with your
is just
package.
so wonderful.
It does everything I need it to do. And I never have to touch the bobbin tension. I rarely touch the top tension. I do find... But hear me out on this, Liz, and I hope this is true, and I'm not just making this up. I have to change the top tension based on the colour of the thread.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You know...
Darker colours seem to need different tension to lighter colours. Is that crazy?
No, because the amount of dye might be more for darker colour, and yellows tend to break more. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It can weaken the thread.
Gotcha.
Yeah, particularly on a natural thread like a cotton.
Yeah.
That's my experience of buying threads as well, because I get a lot of, you know, obviously I've bought thread for years as a retailer.
Yes.
And so I got a lot of feedback from customers, you know, since I've been in retail since 94, so, you know, I got a lot of experience.
We don't have long left on the show, Liz.
I know.
I feel like we need more demos.
Well, I think so too. Can I show you the micro foot to fill in just a few of these, as I did on that? Plus, I'd love to show you how we might use the wiggle wave, but not with a ruler.
Okay.
So, and also I want to show you the Echo feet. So can I do some quick demos?
Come on.
Because I really think the microfoot will just blow you away. It's really fun.
So changing the foot, look, easy as unscrew the
that's
screw,
it. Gone.
Foot comes off.
It's on a spring. It's on a spring, and you just turn this little Allen key.
You don't even take the screw out?
Nope.
There you go.
And it goes right the way through, so it's really well on. I'm going to go into cruise, and I'm going to select a higher cruise speed.
So just define cruise and precision.
Yeah, so precision, if we go into precision, that's a really good question actually, Stu. We didn't actually cover that. So when I go into precision, precision is I stop, it stops. So let me just show you. Precision this is precision. I stop, it stops. It's not moving.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's motion detecting, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yep.
Think of, now the Americans call it cruise. One of our customers, Judy, who's a trainer, she said, I prefer continuous.
Yeah.
And I thought, continuous, that's a better use of the word, it's a C as well.
Yeah.
Continuous, it will sew continuously even when I pause.
Yes.
That's a much better word.
So that's cruise.
Cruise, yeah.
So that's what this looks like.
So this, now if we go into this, is, if I select this one, I'm going to up the continuous mode when I use the microfoot, and this is now going to be a higher number of stitches per inch, and it's going to sew continuously. So what's this?
So better for smalling fill.
Yeah.
So even when Liz stops,
15 stitches per inch.
It marks time.
Yeah. And if I stop completely, it doesn't. I don't want it to knot and make a mess.
No.
So it actually shuts itself off after 4 or 5 stitches. So if I stop, auto shut off, because it's designed for people who are new to quilting.
Gotcha.
It has an auto shut off.
Better
it's quite
flow.
nice.
Just got a few minutes left on the show, Liz.
So this is microfoot, micro stitching, or so I'm going to wait. I'm just going to do this. This is knocking back. The alternative is we can go into a manual mode. I'm going to select that.
Got it. So we can fill in areas with that micro. That's amazing. I love that.
Okay.
Such a cool effect.
So that's the micro.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes.
What can you show us?
What can I show you? I can show you the, what did I put with the wiggle? The wiggle.
The wiggle.
The wiggle. And here's the wiggle. very quickly. With this, what I would do is I'd use the wiggle or any shape like this, and I would, if I just come over here, select this. And I would use it to do a free motion design. Oh, let's just go a little bit smaller stitch. I'm going to run out of time, aren't I?
Oh, it does happen. We've got a minute or two.
Just as an illustration. Okay.
Oh, what?
And then,
so you filled in the space between those two
exactly.
lines.
And then I'm going to use the iron to get rid of my panda pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it just disappear.
For the reveal.
Okay, there might be a bit of carpet on there. Don't tell anybody. And I would do it more densely than that.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
would
yeah.
just be the shape
You can
of that.
fill in. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
So many different ways you can use
So
the
many
rulers, the
different things.
stencils.
And as a final parting inspiration.
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, now
couple
have a
minutes.
look at this, because this is what's absolutely possible using the Moxie. Okay, you could use it.
You could.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you could. This is what we were teaching last week to Carol, who's had her Moxie for 6 months. This is the kind of thing that Carol was doing. Whole cloth
Just have
design.
a look at those.
Seriously, this is what, and I'm going to put these on our Facebook
Incredible.
page.
Because what you've got in there is ruler work.
Yep.
And you've got free motion quilting.
Yeah, this is all done on with free motion quilting and ruler work. This is not computerized, okay? This is not computerized. This is just free motion and ruler work.
Now, of course, is based on lots of experience, lots of skill. I don't want to underestimate that, but in terms of how far can I go with my machine, it's all a straight stitch.
It is.
It's all a straight stitch. It's all ruler work or free motion work, or it's computerized, and that we can do next year.
Yeah.
There'll be an add-on.
Exactly.
But in itself, it's all achievable with that straight stitch, that ruler work, that free motion quilting. Liz, it's been an amazing experience to spend 2 hours looking at the Moxie. It's a brilliant package. Thank you so much for coming here today. Really enjoyed it.
Good.